Today, we're not just going to analyze a text. We're going to tell a story, a really strange and powerful new myth. You could call it a parable. It's a story told from a clock tower at the end of time, all about what happens when an entire reality gets flipped on its head. So let's start right at the top, literally. Our narrator isn't just watching things happen. They are the needle of the clock, the very center of a new reality where time as we know it has just stopped. It's all one eternal moment now, and this is our view for the whole story. Okay, so from way up there on that summit, what do they see when they look down? The city has been completely remade, and the narrator sees it with this really chilling mix of awe and total control. Let's break down what this new normal actually looks like. So you've basically got these pillars holding up the new world. There's the clock tower, which doesn't measure time anymore, it just marks forever. Down below, the marketplace, the bazaar, is literally glowing with what's called scarlet devotion. And hanging over everything, the old sun is gone. In its place is a hollow sun, a cold, predatory light in a shattered sky. The very laws of physics and society have been torn up and rewritten. Now, you might think all this is terrifying, right? But here's the twist. The narrator's worship of this new reality isn't based on fear. It's called the gay science. It's this philosophy of saying a total, ecstatic, sacred yes to everything, even the most horrifying parts. It's embracing the abyss with open arms. Of course, you can't build a new world like this without tearing the old one down. And, I mean, completely annihilating it. For this new dawn to break, that past had to be more than just forgotten. It had to be violently erased. And this is where you see that total flip, that complete inversion of everything. What was once pious history is now celestial heresy. The old, disguised saint is shed like old skin, and in its place you get the tarantula preacher. Holy memories are thrown out for forbidden knowledge. And of course, the warm yellow sun gets replaced by the cold, hollow sun. It's a one-for-one swap of opposites. And what's wild is this isn't a story about rising to power. The narrator calls their journey an Untergang, which means downfall or decline. But here, it's a good thing. It's this idea that by going down, by diving into the abyss, they've somehow paradoxically conquered the heavens. Their fall was their victory. So who is this figure at the center of this cosmic revolution? Well, the old disguised saint is history. Meet the new high priest of this new world order, the tarantula preacher. This is the one who, as the text says, injected the venom of the deep into the heart of the sun. Okay, so we have this tarantula preacher at the top of the tower. But are they running the show all by themselves? Who or what is really holding this whole new reality in place? Let's take a look at the anchors of this new world. And this is fascinating. There's a duality of power here. You have the tarantula preacher way up high, physically anchored to the top of the clock tower. But at the same time, deep down below in a labyrinth, there's a Wiccan who is merged with the tower's very heartbeat. One at the top, one at the bottom. They're like two magnetic poles holding the whole city in their unholy and permanent design. But behind it all, behind the preacher and the Wiccan, is the ultimate power source, the dragon. They might be the anchors, but this new scarlet and sovereign dawn, that belongs to the dragon. This isn't just a sunrise, it's a permanent state of reality, a constant display of the dragon's absolute rule. Now, all this cosmic spiritual stuff, it's not just happening in the sky. It's having a massive impact right down on street level, in the very heart of the city's economy, the bazaar. The marketplace has been totally transformed. This metaphor just perfectly captures how this new world works. It's not a static picture. It's being actively woven, constantly. The tarantula, the new god, is the spinner. The clock tower, the seat of power, is the loom. And the bazaar, with all its human chaos and commerce, is the silk that's being woven into the fabric of this new, eternal kingdom. So you need new rules for a new marketplace, right? Well, forget fairness or morality. Commerce here is redeemed by something called the rune of righteous sin. The marketplace is now a kingdom of the void, a threshing floor where only the strong survive and thrive. And the whole thing is guided by a new eightfold path of worldly wisdom. It's a system built for a cruel but creative will. And this new doctrine, it isn't being whispered in secret. It's being screamed from the very architecture of the city.
The tower's 7 gargoyles have come to life, and their stone throats are constantly broadcasting the tarantula's sermon out into the void. The city itself has become a propaganda machine.
All right, this brings us to the end, the final, triumphant declaration. This is the part where they lock it all down, codify the new religion, and declare total, undeniable victory over the old world. So it all boils down to this: a new trinity. It's simple and it's brutally effective. The tarantula is the master, the new god. The clock tower is the altar, the place of worship. And the bazaar, with all of its churning scarlet devotion, is the blood, the life force that sustains the whole system. And with that new trinity established, the narrator makes this absolutely mind-blowing claim. Everything that came before, the entire history of human morality, all of it, was just the introduction, just the prologue. And now, that prologue is officially over.
And then you hear it. The first chime from the tower. But it's not marking 1 o'clock. It's marking year 0 of this new eternity. The finality of it is absolute. The hour is struck. Then, a second chime. This one confirms the death of the old world. The sun we knew, the source of light and life, it's gone, officially nullified. The sun is void.
And finally, the last chime echoes out, and with it, the ultimate declaration. This isn't temporary. It's not a phase. The rule of the dragon, this whole new Scarlet Order, has truly, triumphantly, and, most importantly, permanently begun. There's no turning back.
So that leaves us with this really chilling question. We've just witnessed the death of one world and the birth of a new one, built on principles we'd call evil. If the entire story of pious human history was just the prologue, what in the world does chapter 1 of this story look like? What happens now?